Chosen one, brace yourself. What I'm about to reveal could shatter every boundary you've ever set around your life. If these words are reaching you now, let this sink in. It's no accident. You've been pulled to this moment by a power far greater than chance, a holy calling straight from God Himself, because a monumental awakening is rumbling within you. Those restless nights, the crushing doubts, the silent struggles you've carried alone, they end here. As you hear this, the chains of lack and hardship are snapping apart, giving way to a torrent of divine grace rushing straight toward you. God has been weaving His plan in the shadows, setting the stage for an outpouring of blessings, doors flying open, opportunities racing to find you, and abundance stacking up in ways you've never dared imagine. You're stepping into a season where scarcity fades into a forgotten echo, where provision pours like a mighty river, and where God's boundless generosity rewrites your entire narrative. This isn't wishful thinking, it's a promise sealed in heaven. Those miracles you've murmured about in your deepest, quietest prayers. They're not just on the way, they're already knocking at your door. Get ready, chosen one, because your life is about to erupt into something breathtaking and unstoppable. Before we journey further, I invite you to take a simple yet powerful step. If these words resonate with you, if you sense the divine energy weaving through them, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below with the number 99. It's a small act, but it's a signal to the universe, a declaration that you're open to this sacred truth. Your soul already knows this message was meant for you, so stay with me, chosen one, because the path ahead is about to unfold into something miraculous. Together, let's amplify this light, creating a sanctuary of faith and love for all who seek it. Your support keeps this divine message alive, let's spread it far and wide. Chosen one, have you ever gazed at the night sky, searching for a star that feels like it's meant just for you, only to find it slipping beyond your grasp? Perhaps you've walked through shadowed valleys, your heart heavy with the ache of longing, wondering if love will ever find its way to you. If those questions echo in your soul, if you've ever felt lost in the silence of unanswered prayers, let me assure you, you are not alone, and you are not forgotten. Right now, you stand at the edge of something extraordinary, a love so profound, so perfectly orchestrated, that it will reshape the very fabric of your existence. This isn't a fleeting romance or a chance encounter, it's a divine gift, crafted by God's own hands, waiting to unfold at the exact moment your spirit is ready to embrace it. The heavens are aligning, the winds of destiny are shifting, and your true love is closer than you realize. Stay with me, chosen one, because what I'm about to share will not only mend your weary heart but ignite it with a fire of hope and purpose. Picture this: every tear you've shed, every quiet plea whispered into the darkness, every moment you've questioned your worth, God has heard it all. He hasn't turned away or left you to wander, He's been at work, sculpting your soul, refining your spirit, preparing you for a love that's nothing short of sacred. This love isn't bound by human timing or impatience, it arrives when you're truly ready, when your heart can hold it without breaking, when your faith can see it for the miracle it is. And that time is now. The divine clock has ticked into place, and your moment is dawning. Deep within, you might feel a stirring, a whisper from your spirit saying, "This is for me." Trust that feeling, because you, chosen one, have been handpicked by God for a love that stretches beyond the stars, a love that will echo through eternity. True love arrives at the divine moment. Chosen one, let's step into the quiet of your soul for a moment, those nights when you've lain awake, the world hushed around you, your eyes tracing invisible patterns on the ceiling as your heart thumps with questions too heavy to speak aloud. Why does love feel like a phantom, always just out of reach, slipping through your fingers like mist every time you dare to grasp it? Have you sat there in the stillness, wondering if it's dodging you because you're somehow lacking, too flawed, too fragile, too forgotten? Or perhaps it's a twist of cruel fate, a cosmic jest that keeps you tethered to longing while others seem to bask in love's glow. Let those questions linger, chosen one, because I'm here to unravel them with you, to lift the veil on a truth so radiant it will shift the ground beneath your feet. Love isn't evading you, it's waiting, poised with a patience so perfect, so exquisitely divine, that only God himself could have set it in motion. This is the divine moment, chosen one, and it's not a fleeting whisper or a vague hope, it's the very heartbeat of your existence, the sacred second when heaven bends low to meet you, when the universe aligns to deliver the love you were born to receive. So, what is this divine moment, this holy instant we keep circling back to? It's not a mere tick of a clock, a random blip on the timeline of your days. Oh no, it's far grander than that. Picture a vast symphony, every note of your life, every laugh, every sob, every silent prayer, building toward a crescendo that only the master composer could conduct. The divine moment is when he raises his baton and the music swells, when every thread of your journey weaves into a tapestry so intricate, so breathtaking, that you can finally see the pattern he's been crafting all along. It's the exact point where God steps into the chaos of your story and declares, now is the time. It's when the stars he slung across the heavens shift ever so slightly, their light bending to spell your name in a celestial script only your soul can decipher. It's when the weight of your past, the heartbreak that left you breathless, the waiting that stretched you thin, the growth you fought for through gritted teeth, crystallizes into a foundation strong enough to bear the love he's sculpted just for you. This isn't human timing, chosen one, with its impatience and its frantic rush, its divine precision, a rhythm that pulses with the wisdom of eternity, a cadence so flawless it humbles our restless hearts and bids us trust. But let's linger here. What does this divine moment mean for you, right now, as you sit with these words? It's not a distant dream or a vague someday, it's a living reality, a sacred intersection where every piece of your life converges. Think of it like the dawn breaking over a horizon you've stared at for years, silent at first, the sky holding its breath, then bursting into color at the precise second it's meant to. That's your divine moment, chosen one, not a second too early, not a heartbeat too late, but exactly when your spirit is ready to embrace the fullness of what's coming. It's when the lessons of your yesterdays, the ones that felt like punishment, the ones that broke you open, reveal themselves as gifts, as tools God used to shape you into the person who can hold this love without crumbling. It's not about perfection, it's about readiness, about a heart softened by faith, widened by hope, deepened by trust. This moment is yours, chosen one, a holy now that God has been preparing since before the first light kissed the earth. And what is love in this sacred frame? Let's strip it bare, peel away the layers we've piled on it from a world that cheapens it with fleeting thrills and shallow promises. Love isn't just the butterflies that dance in your stomach when someone new walks into the room, nor the heat of a glance that fades with the morning light. No, chosen one, love is something vast, something alive, a force that flows from the very heart of God himself. It's the breath that animated the dust of creation, the spark that ignited the cosmos, the unbreakable thread that ties the universe together. Love is God's voice whispering through eternity, saying, "You are mine, and I've crafted someone to walk beside you, to reflect my love back to you." It's patient, yes, waiting through your doubts, your fears, your stumbles, but it's also fierce, unyielding in its purpose, relentless in its pursuit of your soul. It's more than an emotion, it's a covenant, a living bond that binds two spirits not just for a season, but for all time. It's the echo of Genesis, where God saw Adam alone and said, "It is not good," then shaped Eve to stand with him, a love that completes without consuming, that lifts without limiting, that heals without hiding. But here's the question that gnaws at us all, the one that keeps us pacing in the night: does anyone really know when this love will come? Can we pin it down like a date on a calendar, set an alarm for its arrival, mark it with a red circle and count the days? Can we, with all our human cleverness, predict the hour when our hearts will finally find their match? No, chosen one, not in the way we crave, not with the certainty of a sunrise or the ticking of a watch. This is a mystery, a divine secret cradled in God's hands, a treasure he unveils when we're least expecting it yet most needing it. We don't know because we're not meant to, not yet. It's not a puzzle we solve with logic or a map we trace with our fingers, it's a gift we receive with faith, a surprise that catches us mid-breath, mid-tear, mid-prayer. Look at Ruth again, widowed and weary, she trudged into Bethlehem, her hands gathering scraps in a stranger's field. Did she wake that morning knowing her divine moment was near? Did she sense, as she bent low under the sun, that Boaz's eyes were on her, that God was turning her mourning into a melody? No, she couldn't have known, couldn't have charted it. Every loss, every step, every grain she picked up led her there, to that field, to that man, to that love, a moment so perfectly timed it became a cornerstone in the lineage of Christ. Now, chosen one, bring this home to yourself. Those times you felt love was a cruel mirage, shimmering just beyond your reach, do they feel like endless detours, like God's silence mocking your cries? Or can you begin to see them as brushstrokes on a canvas you can't yet step back to admire? What if every night you've whispered, when God has been met with his quiet, soon, my child? God hasn't forgotten you, he's been painting your divine moment with a patience that defies our clocks, a beauty that outshines our hurry. Every tear you've let fall has watered the roots of this moment, every sigh has tuned the strings of a song about to play. Can you feel it now, that subtle shift in your chest, that flicker of something too vast to name, too sacred to doubt? It's God drawing near, his voice a gentle thunder, my beloved, your hour is close. What I've prepared will make every weight dissolve into a joy you can't contain. This isn't a maybe, chosen one, it's a certainty, a promise etched in the heavens. Your love is coming, timed to perfection by the one who holds time in his palm, and when it arrives, you'll stand in awe, marveling at why it couldn't have come a single second sooner. Preparation through hardship. Chosen one, let's take a long, unflinching walk down the winding, weathered path you've traveled, a road strewn with jagged stones, shadowed by towering doubts, and marked by the echoes of dreams that once burned bright but crumbled into ash. Picture those moments, the heartbreak that clawed a hollow space in your chest, leaving you gasping for air, the trust you poured out like water, only to watch it shatter like fragile glass beneath a careless heel, the nights you knelt in the dark, your voice a raw whisper against the silence, pleading, why me, God? Why this relentless ache, this suffocating loneliness, this endless fight just to keep going? Those scars aren't shallow, they run deep, don't they? They've carved lines into your soul, left you tender and exposed, made you question everything you thought you knew about love, about yourself, about the promises you've clung to. And now, here we stand, facing the question that haunts your quiet moments, do you have to endure hardship to find love? Is it some divine gauntlet you must run, a toll paid in tears, in sleepless nights, in broken hopes, before you're deemed worthy of the love your heart craves? Let's wrestle with this together, chosen one, because the answer isn't a quick yes or no, it's a truth as ancient as the mountains, as profound as the sea, wrapped in the tender, unyielding mystery of God's refining fire. Yes, chosen one, hardship often paves the way to love, not as a cruel decree from a distant judge, but as a sacred forge, a holy crucible where you're shaped into the person who can hold love's weight, cherish its depth, and grow within its embrace. It's not about earning love through suffering, as if you could barter your pain for a prize, it's about becoming the vessel strong enough, open enough, brave enough to receive a love that doesn't just skim the surface but sinks into your bones, a love that lasts beyond the fleeting whims of this world. Think of a blacksmith at his anvil, hammering raw iron in the heat of the flame. The blows aren't meant to destroy, they're meant to refine, to strip away the brittle edges, the weak spots, until what remains is a blade sharp and true. Your hardships are that fire, chosen one, burning off the pride that blinds you, the fear that binds you, the self-doubt that undermines you, until what's left is a heart ready for something eternal, something divine. But let's not rush past this. Does it have to be this way? Must love always come through the crucible? For many, yes, because without the breaking, we cling to illusions, cheap imitations of love that crumble under pressure. Hardship strips those away, leaving you bare but ready for the real thing. Now, let's dig deeper. How much hardship is enough? Is there a measure, a line in the sand where God says, that's sufficient, you've paid your dues? Do you count the heartbreaks, 1, 3, 10, and wonder if the tally's complete? Do you tally the years of loneliness, the nights of tears, and ask, have I suffered enough yet? Here's the truth, chosen one, there's no cosmic scale, no divine ledger with a quota scratched in ink. It's not about quantity, it's about transformation. For some, a single storm is enough, a betrayal so sharp it slices through their illusions, leaving them raw but awake, ready to see love with new eyes. For others, it's a slow, grinding marathon, 1,000 small wounds, each one a lesson in patience, in resilience, in trust, until they stand weathered but unbowed. Enough isn't a number you reach, it's a state you arrive at, a moment when you look back and see not just the wreckage, but the strength it built, the wisdom it birthed, the courage it planted. It's when God looks at you and sees not a broken shell, but a soul polished by fire, gleaming with the readiness to love and be loved in return. But what does hardship in love even mean? Let's paint this picture clearly, because it's not a monolith, it shifts and shimmers depending on where you stand. For those still searching, those not yet in love, hardship is the ache of empty spaces, the silence that presses in when the world moves on without you, the sting of watching others pair off while you wait, wondering if you're invisible, if you're flawed beyond repair. It's the rejection that cuts like a knife, that not yet, or not you, that echoes in your mind, testing your hope, tempting you to close your heart. It's the nights you lie awake, replaying every misstep, asking if you're too much or not enough, the days you fight to believe love isn't a myth reserved for others. That's your crucible, chosen one, the furnace of longing, the slow burn of patience, the quiet war against despair that shapes you into someone who can recognize love when it finally arrives. And for those already in love, their hardships are different, but no less real, no less refining. It's the friction of two souls rubbing against each other, the misunderstandings that flare into arguments, the distance that stretches patience thin, the moments when forgiveness feels like climbing a mountain with bleeding hands. It's the temptation to walk away when the road gets rocky, the struggle to see past flaws to the heart beneath, the choice to stay when every instinct screams to flee. Love isn't static, it's a living thing, and its hardships are the storms that test its roots, the winds that prove its strength. Whether it's a partner's silence that wounds, a betrayal that shakes trust, or the daily grind that dulls the shine, these trials forge a bond that's not just sweet, but enduring. Both paths, the unloved and the loved, carry their fires, chosen one, and both are teachers, molding you through solitude or struggle into a soul ready for divine connection. Let's walk through Job's story again, a man who knew hardship's weight. He lost everything, wealth, family, health, sitting in ashes, his cries a raw hymn piercing God's silence. Why? He demanded, his voice trembling with anguish. Yet through the loss, he learned trust, clinging to faith when hope seemed a ghost. When God restored him, it wasn't just about goods, it was about a deeper bond with the divine, a readiness born of suffering. His wasn't a romantic tale, but it mirrors yours, pain as a prelude to purpose. Now picture Clara, a woman I've told you about, whose life unraveled thread by thread. She lost her job to a cold corporate axe, her marriage to a betrayal that left her staring at walls, her days to a solitude that pressed like a weight. She'd sit by her window, rain streaking the glass, whispering, God, have I failed you? Is this my forever? Years crept by, each one a brick in her wall of doubt, until David entered, grief-worn, a father who'd buried a child, his faith a tattered flag. They met at a support group, two souls too bruised to dream. Their first words were hesitant, faltering, but a spark flickered, a recognition. Clara's resilience, forged in collapse, met David's compassion, tempered by loss. Together, they faced new storms, his guilt clawing at nights, her fear whispering retreat, but they held fast, their shared scars weaving a love that didn't erase pain but redeemed it. Was it enough hardship? Yes, because it carved them into partners who could stand together, whole and unbroken. So, chosen one, turn your gaze inward, what about your storms? Do they feel like punishment, like a sentence you can't escape, or can you glimpse the hand shaping you through the chaos? How much have you carried, too much to bear, or just enough to crack you open for something greater? What hardships have you known, the sting of solitude if you're still searching, the strain of struggle if you're in love's grip? God's voice cuts through the tumult, steady and sure, my beloved, every wound has been my chisel, every tear my polish, carving you for a love that endures. You're not suffering for nothing, you're rising for everything I've promised. Hardship isn't the price you pay for love, it's the forge where you're made ready, whether you're waiting alone in the quiet or wrestling within a relationship's fire. You're not weaker for it, chosen one, you're tougher, braver, more radiant, because every trial has been a step, a hammer blow, a refining flame leading you to the love you were born to claim. How much is enough? Only God knows, but trust this, when you're ready, you'll see it was exactly what you needed. The spiritual nature of love. Chosen one, let's pause here and breathe into this moment. Have you ever felt a stranger brush past you, their presence igniting a spark deep within, a jolt you couldn't quite name? Not just the fleeting flutter of attraction that dances across the surface, but something heavier, richer, a pull, a whisper from your soul that says, I know you, I've always known you. Maybe it's happened in a crowded room, where your eyes locked with someone's across the chaos, and for a fleeting second, time folded in on itself, leaving you with a feeling too vast to pin down. That's the heartbeat of spiritual love, chosen one, not the shallow romance of songs or the passing thrill of a glance, but a sacred union, a divine tapestry woven from threads of eternity, binding two spirits in a way that echoes God's own heart. This isn't ordinary love, it's a connection that plunges beneath the skin, beyond the words we fumble to find, into the realm of the eternal, where souls meet and recognize each other as if they've been searching across lifetimes. Let's peel back the layers of this mystery together, chosen one, and explore the soulmates, twin flames, and spiritual companions that define love's deepest truth, because understanding these bonds will light a lantern on your path to the love God has destined for you. So, what is a soulmate, this term we toss around so easily yet rarely grasp in its fullness? A soulmate isn't just a perfect match or a fairy tale ending, it's your gentle echo, a kindred spirit whose presence feels like slipping into a warm, familiar embrace after a long, cold journey. They're the steady rhythm to your wild, untamed beat, the one whose laughter weaves seamlessly into your silences, whose gaze holds your light even when you've lost sight of it yourself. Soulmates don't complete you in the way the world imagines, as if you're a broken half needing repair, they complement you, reflecting God's peace in a way that steadies your soul, that calls you higher without demanding you change. They're the calm to your storm, the anchor when your waves rise, the mirror that shows you the beauty God planted in you from the start. This connection isn't about fireworks or drama, it's about resonance, a quiet harmony that flows effortlessly, like a river finding its course. A soulmate walks beside you, their spirit intertwined with yours in a dance so natural, so divinely orchestrated, that you wonder how you ever moved through life without them. Now, let's shift to twin flames, a term that carries a fiercer, wilder weight. Twin flames aren't the gentle hum of a soulmate, they're a blaze, a roaring fire that both consumes and creates. Imagine a single spark of divine light, split in two at the dawn of time, sent tumbling through the ages to find each other again. That's a twin flame, your other half, born from the same eternal ember, a mirror of your soul in its rawest, truest form. They don't just reflect your light, they expose your shadows, holding up a glass to every corner of you, the brilliance and the brokenness alike. This bond is intense, magnetic, often chaotic, because twin flames challenge you to grow, to shed what's false, to step into the fullness of who God made you to be. They're not here to coddle, they're here to ignite, to push you through the flames of transformation until you emerge stronger, purer, more alive. Their love is a crucible, a collision of souls that can feel like both a wound and a healing, a dance of push and pull that leaves you breathless but whole. Where soulmates bring peace, twin flames bring evolution, a love that burns away the chaff to reveal the gold beneath. And then there's the spiritual companion, a bond that doesn't always wear the cloak of romance, but carries a depth just as profound. This is a soul tethered to yours across time and space, a partner in purpose, a guide on your journey toward God's will. They might be a friend, a mentor, a confidant, someone whose spirit resonates with yours in a way that transcends the physical, lifting you closer to the divine. Think of them as a fellow traveler on this cosmic road, their presence a steady hand when you stumble, a voice that speaks truth when you're lost. They're not about passion or possession, they're about alignment, about walking together toward a higher calling. In the Bible, we see this in David and Jonathan. Their friendship wasn't laced with romance, but with a soul-deep loyalty, an unshakable pact sealed in faith. Their spirits were knit together, not for fleeting joy, but for a purpose that echoed through Israel's story. A spiritual companion might not be your lover, chosen one, but they're no less vital, a soul connection that anchors you in God's grand design. Let's linger on Anna and James, a story I've shared before, but let's dive deeper now. Anna was a woman adrift, her childhood a jagged maze of loss, parents gone too soon, a home that echoed with absence. She carried that weight into her 20s, searching for meaning in a world that felt cold. One evening, drawn by a nudge she couldn't explain, she stepped into a prayer meeting, her heart heavy but open. There was James, tall, quiet, a man who traded a corner office and a six-figure salary for a life serving the overlooked, his calm a stark contrast to her storm. Their first conversation wasn't a thunderclap, it was a slow unfolding, like petals catching the first light of dawn. Anna felt it in his words, a melody she'd always known, a song her soul had hummed in secret. James saw it in her eyes, a spark of something ancient, a resilience that mirrored his own quiet strength. They talked for hours, about faith, about scars, about dreams they'd buried. Were they twin flames? Not quite, their love didn't scorch or shatter, but soulmates, yes, their spirits sinking in a harmony so pure it felt like God himself had tuned it. Today, they lead a small church, their bond a beacon that draws others in, a testament to a love that lifts without breaking, that heals without hiding. Now picture Mary and Joseph, two souls bound not just by marriage, but by a mission that shook the heavens. Mary, young and faithful, felt the angel's words pierce her life like a sword, "You will bear the Son of God." Joseph, a carpenter with calloused hands and a steady heart, faced a choice, shame her or shield her. He chose love, guided by a dream from God, and their union became more than a romance, it was a spiritual partnership, a vessel for the divine. Their love wasn't born of passion's heat, but of obedience's fire, a connection so strong it cradled the Savior of the world. Did they feel the weight of their soul's alignment, the way their spirits clicked like pieces of a cosmic puzzle? Scripture doesn't say, but their story sings it. Their bond was a twin flame's intensity softened by a soulmate's trust, a union that bore eternity's weight. Their love wasn't just theirs, it was God's, a reflection of his plan unfolding through two hearts beating as one. What does this mean for you, chosen one? Have you felt that tug, that ache for a connection you can't yet name? Are you waiting for a soulmate's gentle peace, a twin flame's transformative fire, a spiritual companion's steady guidance, or perhaps a blend of all three? Let's sit with that. Have you ever met someone and felt time slip away, as if your souls were old friends picking up a conversation paused eons ago? Or maybe you've sensed them in dreams, a presence you can't see but know, a whisper that says, "I'm coming." God leans close, his voice a soft thunder through your spirit. I've shaped a soul to dance with yours, a partner for this wild, sacred journey. They're near, trust me, they're near. This love isn't a roll of the dice, it's a destiny written in the stars, a thread spun from God's own heart to yours. Soulmates bring you home, twin flames set you ablaze, spiritual companions walk you toward purpose, all are reflections of his love, facets of the bond you're meant to find. Understanding these connections, chosen one, is like holding a map to your own soul. A soulmate might be the one who sits with you in silence, knowing your heart without a word. Think of Ruth and Boaz, their quiet bond growing from shared fields to shared lives. A twin flame might be the one who shakes you awake, their intensity a mirror to your own, imagine Jacob and Rachel, their love a wrestle of longing and fulfillment across years of toil. A spiritual companion might be the friend who stands by you through every storm, like Jonathan to David, their souls linked in a purpose beyond themselves. Which calls to you, chosen one? Can you feel them out there, their spirit reaching for yours across the void? This love, whether it's the peace of a soulmate, the fire of a twin flame, or the strength of a companion, isn't random. It's God breathing life into your story, a connection that transcends time, that lifts you closer to Him. You'll know it when it comes, not by logic alone, but by the stillness that floods your being, the certainty that whispers, "This is mine, this is home." It's coming, chosen one, a love so deep, so divine, it's been written in your soul since the beginning. Chosen one, let's step into the vast, winding expanse of love's truest form. It's not a trophy you hoist in triumph or a summit you plant a flag upon, it's a journey, a sprawling, untamed road stretching across the landscape of your life, traveled hand in hand with another soul beneath the boundless canopy of God's sky. This isn't about reaching a polished, perfect ending where all questions fade, it's about the steps, the stumbles, the shared breaths along the way, a living testament to a bond forged in faith, tempered by trials, and illuminated by grace. Love's journey isn't solitary, it's a partnership, a sacred odyssey where two hearts beat as one through the wild beauty and rugged storms of existence. To see this clearly, let's walk through the intricate, soul-stirring paths of two couples, Abraham and Sarah from the ancient sands of Scripture, and Tom and Lily from the muddy trails of today. We'll trace how they met, how they conquered the shadows that loomed over them, how they came to know they were each other's divine half, and how their souls linked at a level so deep it echoes through time. These aren't just stories, chosen one, they're mirrors, reflecting the journey awaiting you. Abraham met Sarah in Ur, a city humming with life. She was Sarai then, stunningly beautiful, but it was her fierce, tender spirit that drew him. Kin by custom, their bond deepened when Abraham shared his dream of a God-given land. They left Ur together, hands clasped, stepping into the unknown. Hardships hit hard, decades of barrenness haunted Sarah, Hagar's child strained their trust, and God's command to sacrifice Isaac tested them to the core. They endured through faith, Sarah's doubt met Abraham's resolve, their love holding fast. Abraham knew Sarah was his half in her laugh at Isaac's promise, a trust beyond reason. Sarah felt it in his steady grip and prayers. Their souls were fused, a bond surviving every trial, birthing a nation, echoing God's covenant, a connection so deep it carried eternity's weight. Tom and Lily met in a storm-soaked village on a mission trip. Tom, a builder, hammered nails as rain fell. Lily arrived with books to teach kids. Their first encounter was chaos, a flood swept the site, and they scrambled to save supplies, hands brushing in the mud. That night, under a lantern, they talked, Tom of lasting homes, Lily of growing minds. Hardships followed, floods ruined their work, exhaustion sparked tension, and a child's death broke their hearts. They overcame by rebuilding together, Tom's strength lifting Lily, her resolve pulling him through. Tom knew Lily was his when she stayed, mud-streaked but steady. Lily felt it when Tom spoke of God under the stars, their souls sinking. Their bond was a living prayer, intuitive, tight, a unity that shone as they rebuilt lives across countries, their love a bridge to God's heart. What about you, chosen one? Can you see your own journey unfolding, the winding paths through shadowed valleys, the radiant peaks bathed in light, the one who'll walk beside you through it all? Do you feel the ache for that shared road, the pull toward a partner who'll weather your storms and dance in your joys? Let's sit with that. Have you ever met someone and felt a flicker, a hint of that knowing, as if your souls brushed across lifetimes? Or maybe you sense them in the quiet, a presence waiting just beyond the horizon. God's voice is steady, a rumble of love through your spirit. I've charted your course with another, a soul to share this wild, holy ride. Step forward, it's unfolding now, step by step. This isn't just love, chosen one, it's a legacy, a tapestry woven through every trial and triumph, every tear and laugh. Abraham and Sarah built a nation, Tom and Lily built lives. You'll build something too, a love so linked, so luminous, it shines beyond your days, a journey that proves two souls, bound by God's hand, can conquer anything. Their stories whisper to yours, how they met in chaos, overcame through faith, knew through countless moments, connected at eternity's depth. Your half is out there, chosen one, and your journey is just beginning. Chosen one, let's slow down and linger in the quiet corners of your life, those fleeting moments that catch you off guard, that feel too perfect, too deliberate to brush off as mere chance. Have you ever glanced at a clock and seen 3:33 blinking back at you, the numbers glowing with an odd insistence? Or watched a bird land on your windowsill, its gaze meeting yours with a calm that stirs something deep within? Maybe it's a name that drifts into your mind unbidden, a song that spills from the radio at just the right second, wrapping around your heart like a message you didn't know you needed. These are signs, chosen one, not random flickers in the chaos of your days, but cosmic whispers, divine breadcrumbs scattered across your path by God Himself, lighting the way toward the love you were born to find. They're not loud or obvious, they're subtle, intimate, woven into the fabric of your world with a tenderness that speaks your name. Let's unravel this together, what these signs look like, how you know them when they come, who they're meant for, and why you should trust them with every fiber of your being, because they're not just hints, they're a call, urging you to live and love with the boldness of someone already claimed by love's grace. So, what do these signs look like? They're as varied as the stars, as personal as your fingerprints, tailored to catch your eye and stir your soul. Picture a number repeating, 1111 flashing on your phone as you think of love, 77 etched on a receipt when you're lost in prayer. It might be a melody that finds you, a song from years ago playing in a cafe, its lyrics echoing a hope you buried, or a tune hummed by a stranger that lifts the weight of a heavy day. Signs can be dreams, vivid, warm, lingering like a promise when you wake, a face you don't know yet feel in your bones. They're in nature too, a butterfly circling you on a walk, a sudden breeze carrying a scent that pulls you back to a memory you can't place, a rainbow breaking through clouds after you've cried out to God. They might be words, a stranger's offhand kindness that hits like an arrow, a verse in a book you flip to by chance that speaks straight to your longing. These aren't accidents, chosen one, they're brushstrokes of the divine, painted across your life in colors only you can see, each one a whisper saying, I'm here, I'm guiding you. How do you recognize them when they come? It's not with your eyes alone, it's with your spirit, that quiet place within that hums when truth brushes against it. They don't shout or demand, they nudge, they stir, they settle. Your heart might skip a beat, your breath catch in your chest, a shiver run down your spine as if your soul's waking up. It's a knowing, a feeling you can't shake, a certainty that blooms without words, like a compass needle swinging true north. Sometimes it's subtle, a hunch that pulls you to turn left instead of right, a gut pull to speak when you'd rather stay silent. Other times, it's sharp, a jolt when you see those numbers, a warmth flooding you when that song plays, a peace wrapping around you when that bird lingers. You'll know them because they feel personal, as if God wrote them just for you, a secret code between you and the one who knit you together. They're not always clear at first, doubt might cloud them, logic might argue them away, but they linger, tugging at you until you listen, until you see. Who do these signs appear to? They're not reserved for the mystics or the saints, they're for you, chosen one, and anyone with a heart open to hear God's voice. They come to the seekers, those who lift their eyes to the sky, who whisper prayers in the dark, who dare to believe there's more than what meets the eye. They come to the weary, those who've walked through storms and still cling to hope, who've tasted despair but refuse to let it win. They come to the faithful, those who trust even when the path is hidden, who lean into the unseen with a courage that defies reason. Take Ben, a man I've told you about. He kept seeing 77 everywhere, on a bus ticket, a billboard, a page in Psalm 77 he flipped to one restless night. It nagged at him, a puzzle he couldn't solve, until he knelt and asked, God, what's this mean? Weeks later, he met Rachel in a bookstore, her laughter pulling him like a tide. As they talked, she quoted Psalm 77, her anchor through grief, and his world tilted. That number wasn't chance, it was God's sign, a thread leading him to her. Signs aren't for the elite, chosen one, they're for anyone who looks, who listens, who dares to believe they're chosen. And should you trust them? Yes, chosen one, yes, with every breath, every heartbeat, every ounce of your soul. These aren't tricks of the mind or whims of fate, they're messages, etched by God's hand, as real as the ground beneath your feet, as true as the love He's promised you. They're not illusions to doubt or coincidences to dismiss, they're divine whispers, love letters from the one who knows you best. Trust them, because they're God speaking through the language of your life, through numbers, songs, dreams, winds, guiding you to the love waiting just beyond the horizon. Here's the miracle, the more you trust, the clearer they become. Lean into them, and they grow, like a lantern brightening in fog, like a voice rising above the noise. Doubt them, and they fade, dimming under the weight of skepticism. Believe them, and they blaze, lighting your path with a clarity that takes your breath away. They're not static, they're alive, growing stronger, louder, more vivid as your faith meets them halfway. God says, I'm speaking through these signs, my child, open your heart, and my message will ring clear and bold. But these signs do more than guide, they move you, chosen one. They're not just pretty lights to admire, they're a call, a push, a spark that urges you to act like someone already wrapped in love's embrace. They stir your soul to reach out, to smile at a stranger, to give without counting the cost, to step toward the unknown with a courage you didn't know you had. They awaken a love within you, a boldness to live as if your heart's already found its match, to move through the world with the grace of someone claimed by something divine. Think of Ben again, those 77s didn't just lead him to Rachel, they pushed him to speak, to ask her name, to chase a connection he might have missed. Signs don't leave you still, they propel you forward, hands open, spirit alive, acting with the love they promise. They're God's way of saying, get ready, love is near, and I'm shaping you for it now. What signs have crossed your path, chosen one? Have you seen those numbers, 1111, 444, repeating like a heartbeat? Heard a song that felt like a letter to your soul? Felt a dream linger, a face you can't place calling you home? Maybe you've brushed them off, unsure if they're real, afraid to hope. But listen, God whispers through them, His voice steady, these are mine, for you, trust them, and I'll lead you to love. They're not random, they're yours, personal as a touch, urgent as a pulse. The more you believe, the more they guide, urging you to love boldly, to give freely, to live as if love's already yours. They're proof your divine moment nears, chosen one, a call to act, to rise, to embrace the journey with a heart wide open, because these signs are God's love made visible, pushing you toward the one your soul's been waiting for. Chosen one, as we reach the end of this sacred journey together, let these words sink deep into every corner of your being, let them root in the marrow of your bones, let them pulse through the veins of your spirit. You are not a weary wanderer lost in the shadows of a cold, indifferent world. You are God's chosen, a soul sculpted by every storm you've weathered, crowned by every hope you've dared to hold. A light He's marked with a purpose so radiant it shakes the heavens and stirs the stars. This path we've walked, from the divine moment of love's arrival to the hardships that refine you, from the soul connections that define it to the shared journey that shapes it, from the signs that guide you to this very breath, is no accident. It's a map drawn by the one who breathed you into being, a story written before your first cry pierced the air. And now, as we stand here, let's gather the treasures we've unearthed, the lessons that shimmer like gold in the dust, the truths about love that will carry you forward, the advice that will anchor you, and the guidance from God Himself that will light your way. This is your moment, chosen one, to step into the fullness of who you are and the love you're destined to claim. What have we learned on this winding road? Love isn't a chaotic force you wrestle into submission or a prize you snatch with desperate hands. It's a surrender, a gift that blooms in God's perfect time, a river that flows when you release your grip and trust its current. True love is a mirror of God's heart, It lifts you like wings on the wind, heals you where you've been torn, aligns you with a purpose that stretches beyond your own horizon. It's patient yet fierce, gentle yet unyielding, a bond that doesn't just warm you for a season but anchors you for a lifetime. True love sees you, your flaws, your fears, your hidden light, and chooses you still, not to possess, but to partner, not to diminish, but to amplify. It's Abraham and Sarah laughing through impossible years, Tom and Lily rebuilding through floods. It's the love that endures, that grows stronger in the breaking. But false love? That's a shadow, a mirage that glitters but fades. It's selfish, clinging where it should release, draining where